Hey guys, welcome back, and let's see what happens now. What an intriguing person. Oh yeah, we just left the room with the short-haired chick with no arms. She's really nice. Oh, wait, I wouldn't say nice, she's interesting. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. Oh, always one of those like, I heard that. Where did you come from? What did she hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the complete empty hallway. She's like right up at the screen. Somehow she had gotten into jumping distance without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. Oh yeah, she's with us, Shizune. Shizune is standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. Oh, they're both precious. Okay, enough waving around. No, wait, more importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hichan. Oh, she's all concerned. These two are so cute. She wags a finger at me scoldingly. Oh. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Oh, sorry, I got the things here. I was just about to bring them to you. I think you're up to some mischief, Hichan. Who is in there with you, I wonder? Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Oh, there are... Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to defeat school properly by sleeping atop of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeably trembling of her shoulders. From suppressed rage, I'm sure. Oh yeah, she won't like her sleeping on the desk. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts the glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe... Oh, does she think I... Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. What is she thinking? What's that look for? Why are they both looking at me like that? She seems very loaded to stare at me too, as if somehow it was my fault Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello! Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realise she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind me, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Oh, look, she's like me. Hello. Mr. Zuka, what do you think you're doing? You're absolutely not permitted to use school property for such a disgraceful activity. They think we... No, it's a misunderstanding. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know that I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune and Misha, scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha on the shoulder, points at Rin and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Oh, she's signing more things. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. What's going on? And... we'll think about it harder. She's as lazy as me, I like it. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Oh. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She shakes her head, takes the materials from me and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks at a retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though, I haven't finished my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. Aww, everyone's precious. That's the. I want someone to count the amount of times I've said precious during this. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art room. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? Give you a hand! Oh, that's a really bad thing for me to say, I'm sorry. This paint can't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and slept on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need me to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway. Me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway's quiet and empty now, with Shizune and Misha gone, so we have to leave towards the stairwell at the other end. After 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me, with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. This is the guy. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me, because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There is something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects which might require adjusting dosages, or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Should he be discussing this in public? Nausea, headache, anything, and come see me if something happens. Alright. So, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realised how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been neither the school track that you've been at neither the school track or even the pool. So I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked. Oh no, I forgot about that actually. Of course I haven't, but this way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as much, I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. He's a sneaky person. Well, I was actually doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like a sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. That's the lamest excuse ever, and Rin knows it. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back as if it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? I guess, to be honest, I love exercising. Yes, I promise, definitely. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog for a bit. It's gonna be no leg girl, isn't it? I forgot her name, but she was cool. Consultation? See you around. I like him. He's odd, but gets to the I don't know. He reminds me of me a bit sometimes, but he leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer. And I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at a pale light fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than intended, accidentally lashing out at her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not a business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too, talking about that kind of thing in public. Yeah, that's what I thought. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I haven't sorted my feelings about about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. Are we going to her room? We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. Yeah, that can't be good for disabled people in said leg sense. The entire wall is made of some kind of brick, the same kind of brick as the building itself. Has been covered with some sort of painting. That looks horrible. I mean, creative. Most of it is mere sketches, quick lines drawn on with black and white against the grey plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of them seem to be paint cans. Oh, stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See the left side of the... See? The left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditating instead. Then it was suddenly morning. You were sleeping. Meditating my ass. I have to work on it, but the guys from the art class are helping with the negative space and the base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are lots of people with hands. The reach is better and faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving her little arm, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeves flap around, and it makes me think that it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. Sorry, my reading's gone to poop. This girl doesn't seem to notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So, that's why I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late, and all hope is lost. Why would all hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement with that that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but... I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into a minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. She's chill. She's cool. I blush really hard, or I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It makes me... It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. Aw, she seems almost enthusiastic about that, and she's like, accepting. I think that's really cute. You know, I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us are having more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but like that after all. Wait, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I want to see what it looks like in a dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, you know, flat, like some people are no substance, no meat, where there should be some. Oh crap, did I double click by accident? Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not really good with art. I can't name any artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs his shoulders at that, saying, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little bit more before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Oh, that was a mean thing to think. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be any help though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. You have motor skill. Do you have motor skill problems? Like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. She seems like a perfect match for Kenji, because they're both weird. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box. Very unnaturally picks up a wide brush between her toes of her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. I think I'll end this episode here. It's gone past 20 minutes now. So thanks for watching and goodbye. And to see what she paints, because I'm curious too. You're going to have to watch the next one if they show it. Yeah.